Laws shape human civilization, providing structure and order to communities. However, laws themselves are nothing more than agreements upheld by collective belief and enforcement. They lack any inherent power beyond what people assign to them. This raises an important question. What truly gives laws their strength? The answer lies in the willingness of a society to accept and uphold them. Without that, laws are mere words on paper, devoid of any real influence. The rule of law is often described as the foundation of a stable and functioning society. It dictates that laws must be applied consistently and fairly, preventing arbitrary rule. Yet, this principle is not self-sustaining. It requires widespread cooperation and a shared commitment to respect legal frameworks. The contrast between a society bound by laws and one without them is stark. The idea of a social contract, introduced by philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, suggests that individuals willingly surrender some personal freedoms in exchange for the security and order provided by a governing body. This agreement, whether explicit or implied, ensures that people operate within a system that maintains peace and fairness. It is this understanding that allows laws to function effectively. Individuals follow regulations not simply because they exist, but because they trust that others will do the same, creating a stable environment. Without this shared agreement, society risks slipping into anarchy. Anarchy, in its most extreme form, represents the absence of any centralized authority or legal system. While some argue that this could lead to absolute freedom, history suggests otherwise. When no structure exists to regulate behavior, power often shifts into the hands of those who can exert force. The result is not true freedom, but rather a state of disorder, where survival is dictated by strength rather than justice. In such conditions, the very concept of rights becomes meaningless, as there is no authority to protect them. Despite its many imperfections, the rule of law remains the best mechanism humans have devised to balance order and liberty. However, for it to function, people must believe in its legitimacy. The mere presence of a law does not guarantee compliance. Enforcement plays a role. But more important is the collective belief that laws serve a greater good. If a population loses faith in its legal system, whether due to corruption, inequality, or inefficiency, laws quickly lose their force. Throughout history, societies have witnessed this breakdown when laws cease to reflect the values of the people they govern. Revolutions, civil disobedience, and political upheaval often occur when legal systems are perceived as unjust. When citizens feel that laws no longer serve them, they challenge the authority behind them, sometimes leading to radical change. This demonstrates that laws are not immutable truths, but flexible constructs shaped by those who live under them. The fluid nature of legal systems is also evident in the way laws evolve. As societies change, so too must their regulations. What was once acceptable may become intolerable, while former taboos may gain acceptance. Laws against certain societal behaviors, once strictly enforced, have been overturned as cultural norms shift. This adaptability reinforces the idea that laws do not exist independently, but rely entirely on human acceptance. Despite their constructed nature, laws are necessary for civilization to function. They provide a framework for resolving disputes, protecting rights, and ensuring fairness. However, their authority is always conditional on the willingness of the people to respect them. If that willingness erodes, laws lose their meaning. The balance between obedience and defiance is what ultimately determines whether the rule of law stands or collapses. The ongoing struggle between structure and disorder, law and anarchy, is a fundamental aspect of human society. The rule of law offers stability, but only if it remains aligned with the values and needs of those it governs. It is neither absolute nor eternal. Instead, it is a fragile agreement sustained only by the belief that it serves a purpose. When that belief falters, laws become powerless, leaving society at a crossroads between reform and chaos. This reality underscores the fact that laws are not forces of nature, but human creations, and their strength comes solely from the people who choose to uphold them.